Do you have chickens and sometimes they get sick and they spread it to one another, and you've discovered it's from their water supply and you're constantly cleaning? Come along with me and I'll show you how to make a water drip system that will dramatically reduce the harmful bacteria. Let's go. Hey guys, Musa here from Quantum Home Improvements and Solutions. Welcome back to the channel. After breeding chickens for more than 3 years, I found that bacteria was one of my biggest problems, and the problem was from their water supply. So I'd be changing their water every 2 or 3 days to make sure it was clean for them. And what they would do is poo in their water supply, and then they'd spread their germs. So then I went and bought this drip system, but it wasn't very effective because they'd perch on top and poo on the top of here, and it'll still infect the water. So finally I came up with a drip system using a nipple and a drum. And I'm going to show you today how I make that and how easy it is and how effective it is. So instead of wasting this and throwing it out, I'm going to convert it into a pellet feeder, which is something I need for the chicks. All right, so the first thing I need to do is to take off this little plug, because that's where the water is going to come out from. And so using this 20mm fitting, I'm going to screw it into that place. But first I'll put some Teflon. And so with Teflon, you usually go around about probably 8 times. Just pull that a bit tight. And I will put a lot in here because I really don't want this to leak. Okay, so I'll break that off. Now I'll just screw that into place. Just do it very slowly, just so the Teflon can catch, and that's feeling nice and tight. And that's as far as it'll go, and just stop it there. Okay, so the first section's done. Quite easy to do. All right, so the next thing I need to do is need to cut this 20mm pipe. So all it needs to be is roughly about 45mm. Being PVC, I will use the drop saw to cut this. It's more accurate. So this piece will sit in here and this piece there, and that'll connect the two together. Now from that, I'm going to make pipes coming out both this way. So I'm going to measure them out at 75mm from the edge. And I'm going to come in 100mm for the first nipple, 100mm for the second nipple, and then I'll just go 50mm across to go into this joint here. So now, just using a 1/8 drill bit, I'm just going to drill it in a pilot hole. So be careful not to make a hole lower than the other. So make one down here and then one up here. It's really important that you keep them in a line. So follow that line across. Okay, so they're the pilot holes. So then drill the next size through. So this drill bit is a little bit undersized to the nipple thread. So I'm just going to open it up a little bit, not too much, just to make it a little bit easier to thread through. So this is an 8mm drill bit, but these threads are 9mm. So basically just clean them all out. So this is the pack of nipples that I got from eBay. So then I'll run the thread in, just get it started. And that works really, really well. And I'll do it for all of them, but I am going to put Teflon on as well. Okay, so once again, we put the Teflon on. It is a bit tricky putting this Teflon tape on because it's not very wide, this screw-on section. Okay, so just screw that in, just nice and easy. There we go. Okay, so the next step now is to glue everything together. So first I'll put some gloves on. So now we'll put primer on all the components that are going to be glued together. So this primer is going to help the PVC glue stick a lot better. All right, and the last one just here. Have I missed any? No. Okay, something to note when you're using PVC, that there is a surface tension that's created when you glue it together. So you have to hold the PVC piping in place for, 15, 20, 30 seconds, depending on how big the pipe is. The bigger the pipe, the more surface tension there is. Okay, so the first piece I'll put on is the joiner for the T section. Okay, so I'll glue that in. And I'll just hold that in place just for a moment. I give it just a slight twist just to go in properly. And just hold that in. So then I'll do the T section. You will get glue everywhere, by the way. You need to have a table that you don't mind getting all messed up. And so you just put that in place, remembering that you'll need to hold that fairly level. So the end caps are on the 75mm end, not the 50mm. Make sure that you cover it well. Okay, and just hold that in place. It's all the way in, which is great. Okay, push that on. Now watch this when I let it go. You can see it's coming out. And so the last one to put on is into the T section. Now again, try to hold that level straight down, go 90° down for the nipples. Hold it in place. Okay. So the last one goes on, just push that in. Keep that at the same level as the others. So the drip system is now complete. The only thing that I need to do is put supports on the ends, because the chickens will perch on this and will put pressure downwards and cause the water to come to one side only, and that'll fail. Done. So now to stabilise these supports, I will put a plate underneath. Okay, so the way this works, you put the pipe inside the timber support and that'll support the pipe, and the height should be enough for the chicks to feed on. Now as they get older, I will raise that to another level so then they don't have to crouch down to get the water. Okay, so that's the water feeder out of the way. Now I'm going to convert the old water feeder into a pellet feeder. First of all, what I need to do is have an access on the top. So I need to cut off this section here. I don't want to cut it too big because it'll lose its structural strength. So here's got a round section, that'll give it some support. I just want to take only this round section off. Mark the base just with a pencil, just going level, because I don't want to go above that. I don't want the feed to spill over. Okay, so that's the base, taking that off. So these are the marks here. I can't go any higher than that mark, and I can't go any lower than that mark. So I'm just going to make holes at certain points. All right, now, so that looks pretty good. The height looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So now I'll just cut the top off. It's very brittle, very, very cheap plastic. Okay, so now I'll just screw it into place so it doesn't move. So that's screwed in all the way around. I'm very happy with that. One last thing I want to do, I noticed when I did put the chicken coop in place over the grass that there was a bit overcast on the day, and I thought maybe when it sunnies up that there'll be a lot of light inside the chicken coop, but there wasn't. So I've decided to change one of the ColorBond sheetings to a opal polycarbonate sheeting. So I'm just going to cut that now and change that sheeting over as well. Done. Very easy to cut. Okay, so now I'm going to transfer everything over to the mobile chicken coop. I will be taking it over with a tractor because today's move-in day. The first day that we're going to move the coop to a fresh patch of grass. Okay, so now I'll just replace this polycarb roofing. There is a top side and a bottom side, so you've got to see which side is the UV stable side, and this is the top side. It is marked. They usually have it marked on one side. Pre-drill the holes first because the polycarbonate roofing does expand and contract, and then there's a little rubber on the end, so it spreads the load over the sheeting. And it's easy as that. So now they've got plenty of light inside. And they've also got another sheet there for shading so they can stay on the other side if it gets a bit too warm. Okay, now, so I'll just place the water feeder in. Okay, that works well. And that needs to go up a little bit. So I'll just adjust that up. I'll open the container so I can put some water in. I'll just fill up the feeder. The water and pellet feeders are now in and the chicks are going to them. And the polycarbonate roofing is letting a lot more light in, which I'm really happy about. The chicks are running around a lot more freer, so that's good. So the only thing I've got to do now is move the mobile chicken coop to a fresh patch of grass so they can have some more feed. So that's the end of this video. I'll put a link below of all the products I've used. I'd ask if you please consider to subscribe and hit the like button, and also leave me a comment. I will get back to you. There's plenty more videos to come, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.